Good morning, everyone. I welcome one and all. My name is Anusha Sampath. I'm working as lecturer in physiotherapy at NIPED Regional Center, Navi Mumbai. So, first of all, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude towards our director of NIPED, Shri B.V. Ram Kumar sir, for always motivating and supporting us in conducting various programs, and our officer in charge of NIPED Regional Center, Navi Mumbai, Dr. Ravi Prakash Singh sir, who is always supporting us in all the things and guiding us. So, as you all know that today is 30th of May, which is celebrated as World Multiple Sclerosis Day. And theme for this year for Multiple Sclerosis Day is connections. So MS Connections is all about building community connection, self-connection, and connections to a quality care. So hence, to create more awareness on this day, NIPED Regional Center, Navi Mumbai is conducting this online CRE on understanding multiple sclerosis. And speakers for today's program are expertise in the field of multiple sclerosis, and they have done tremendous work towards this field of disability. Mr. Sandeep Chitnis sir, he is the National Secretary at Multiple Sclerosis Society of India, and Ms. Anjali Vyas ma'am, self-advocate on Disability Rights India, are the resource person for today's CRE. We welcome you, sir and ma'am. So, certain things I would like to mention that because this is a CRE program, so the intake is going to be of 250, and there will be an evaluation link which will be posted after every speaker. You have to fill in the evaluation link to get the CRE points. So before moving, and the rest who are not able to join, you have a YouTube link also. So you can access through the YouTube link. The whole program is going to be shown live in the YouTube link. So before moving forward, I request everyone to please keep their videos off and their speakers mute so that we can listen to the resource person. And I would request our officer in charge, Dr. Ravi Prakash Singh sir of NIPED Regional Center, Navi Mumbai, to please give us a welcome note.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Very good morning to one and all. On the behalf of NIPED Regional Center, Navi Mumbai, we welcome you all for this online national webinar on the occasion of World Multiple Sclerosis Day. This is very important webinar because as we all know that now this is one of the conditions included under Rights of Person with Disability Act. But many of us are not much aware of the condition, even in the field of disability rehabilitation. So it is now high time to know more and more about the disability so that we can plan ourselves and we can help the people, those who are going through this condition. On this webinar, I am very much thankful to our director, sir, Sri B.V. Ram Kumar, sir, under whose his guidance and leadership, we are able to do this program. And also, I'm thankful to Rehabilitation Council of India to provide the CRE status to this particular webinar, because this request was sent in a very short span of time, and RCI has given us the CRE status, and due to which it is now beneficial to majority of the rehab professionals. So we are thankful to Rehabilitation Council of India. And without taking much time, now it's over to Anusha madam. Those who are whose videos are on, please switch off your video, like Mr. Jaideep Patil and others, so that we can see the Mr. Rajat, who is sign language interpreter here. So the webinar is accessible to all, so we can see him. So please switch off if your video is not in use. Thank you very much, and once again, welcome to.
Thank you so much, sir, for initiating the webinar. So, going forward, we have our first speaker for the day. Our first resource person is Mr. Sandeep Chitnis, sir, Sir is the National Secretary at Multiple Sclerosis Society of India. Mr. Sandeep Chitnis is a Fellow of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, FCA. He is also a certificate holder in business valuation from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. He has been practicing since 1989 and he has got a wide range of experience in finance and business strategy. He's also a senior partner in MSDB Ketkar & Co., a chartered accountants firm since 2003. So the firm has conducted all types of audit for various banks. He is also a director of Innovation Corporate Consultants Private Limited. So he has been an independent director with Sitcom Reality Limited as well since April 2017. And these are just to name a few. He is actively helping many social causes and is involved with the management of Multiple Sclerosis Society of India since 2011. He was the National Vice President of Multiple Sclerosis Society of India from 2015 till October 2021. And he is currently the National Secretary of Multiple Sclerosis Society of India and a member of CEO Advisory Group of Multiple Sclerosis International Federation since October 2020. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So today, sir is going to present about basic overview of multiple sclerosis and self-advocacy in persons with multiple sclerosis. So over to you, sir.
Thank you. Can I share my screen?
Yes, sir. Please share your screen.
Can you see?
Not yet, sir.
How do I share it? I opened it.
Okay, sir. So there is an option of present now with an arrow pointing up.
I will use Zoom just a moment. This one. Where at the bottom?
At the bottom, the fifth one, present now. Just click on that.
Notes is there now. Then the format is there. Should I open a share screen? Okay.
Yeah. So open that and you have to share a window.
Yeah, I'm sharing. Share link is there. Share copy is there. Share. See here there is an option send link is there.
Sir, at the end, I mean bottom of the so-called Google Meet screen, you have icon of the speaker, video, then the caption and a smiley, and adjacent to the smiley is the present now thing, sir.
Yes.
You may have to press that at the bottom.
At the bottom, sir.
The bottom, okay. Yeah.
Not the PPT screen.
Yeah.
At the bottom of the Google Meet.
Yeah,
And
just
then I
share
have
the
to put,
center one, a
entire
window.
screen, right?
You have to
No, enter a window.
You have to present the present now. Press the fifth one.
Yeah, the window, yes.
Yeah, and then click on the PPT
And it will be shared.
and then share. There is an option of share, just share that.
No, this is different.
So you have to click on the PPT. Yeah.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir. But
Your WhatsApp screen is visible, sir, not the PPT.
sharing. So you please open the PPT and minimize it. Open the PPT and minimize it because now your WhatsApp has been opened, sir.
I have to open PPT and minimize it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And WhatsApp screen should I stop?
No, you close, sir.
You can close it, sir.
WhatsApp screen, sir, and you can actually open the PPT screen and keep, and then also share, sir.
Can you see now? I opened the PPT screen.
Yeah, now you have to again do the same thing. Please put present now.
Okay. Uh, okay.
Not present
Click
here.
on your entire screen. Yeah.
Present now. There I have to put entire screen. Okay. Okay. And now I have to open the window. Okay. Yes. And now I do have to open the particular window, right? Can you see my PPT now?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Okay, great. Is it moving also, right? It's moving also, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Please make it as full
Did
screen.
not. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I will put it at full screen. Yeah. Can you see it now? It's better. Is it better now?
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Who is present?
Hello.
here?
Can you
Emma,
see?
Emma.
Can you see my screen? Hello.
No, sir. The PPT is not visible.
No, sir. Another person is presenting.
Participants visible, sir. Participants.
Visible, sir.
So can you
Okay.
please do the same thing again?
Shall I do what?
Or sharing the screen again? So please share the screen again.
Present.
Participant, please wait for another 2 minutes.
Yeah. I'm presenting the whole screen now.
Yeah.
Can you see it now? No, I will open it. Can you see my screen?
Not yet, sir.
No, sir.
I'm switching it off. I'm again present now, entire screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Share.
Yes.
Share. I'm sharing.
Yes, sir. Open your PPT, sir.
I'm opening. Can you see my PPT?
Yes, sir. We can see your PPT.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Just make it
put-
to full screen, sir.
Yeah, I will put it. Can you see full?
Yes, sir. We can see.
Yes, 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 sir.
Perfect. Sorry for the delay, and I'm really sorry for the hiccups what were there. So now let us come straight to the presentation. And most important is, first of all, this is today, everybody is interested in knowing what is multiple sclerosis, because now it is one of the 21 disabilities in the Right of People with Disability Act. So what is multiple sclerosis? Multiple sclerosis is, you can imagine, see, I'm just putting the sort of a standard definition there, but let me explain in a very simple layman's term. If you are aware about our wires, electrical wires, now electrical wires are having the coating on that. So simply you imagine our nerves also are like a coating, they are having their coating that is known as myelin shield technically. And forget about remembering any name. That quoting, in case of multiple sclerosis, what happens is it's an autoimmune disease where your system itself attack, and because of that autoimmune attack, the shield on the nerves goes off, and there are various scars on the on your nerves. Be- Because of that, because of these scars, what happens is your the brain, whatever is transmitting to the nerves and various limbs, cannot go because of these scars, and it is hampered there. That is what is the problem with multiple sclerosis, and this is the chronic neurological condition affecting nerves particularly, and this is where it can be having in unpredictable problems like vision, movement, sensation, etc. Let me show you the common symptoms in a visual terms. What is happening in case of multiple sclerosis is there is a unusual fatigue, blurred or double vision, muscular cramps, loss of balance, spasticity, numbness, bowel, bladder, dizziness, depression. I would like to highlight two of these causes: unusual fatigue and depression, mood swings. They are all invisible symptoms. And because of that, classifying or getting disability certificate becomes a very challenging issue in case of multiple sclerosis patients. I'm putting the next slide. The common problems faced by multiple sclerosis people, MSPs as we call them: misunderstanding, discrimination. Initially, people look as normal. See, it's very, if you see any multiple sclerosis person, he will be looking absolutely normal. And intermittently, he has an issue, and there are various invisible symptoms. Like this is loss of balance, stress, fatigue, blurred or double vision, confusion. These are all regular ones, various features. Again, I'm mentioning the common problems faced by MSPs. The screen is in front of you. Now let me take to the, because I'm not dealing more of with about the issues of medical issues of multiple sclerosis. Today, my co-resource person Anjali, he will be also explaining a lot of things from there. So, going to what is the Multiple Sclerosis Society of India and what they are doing. This is Multiple Sclerosis Society is only patient welfare society in India, established in 1985, working to improve life of persons with multiple sclerosis. This is what is our most important role. And ours is very old, since 1985. And we have been looking after the welfare of multiple sclerosis patients. This is our structure of Multiple Sclerosis Society. We have head office and we have 9 chapters, including Mumbai, which is head office also. Key function, we will come to that a little later. Now, what are the welfare services which we are offering? This is what we want to highlight. We are highlighting having home physiotherapy. Again, let me go in the various classification. See, our various services. First, let me visually explain you. We are doing a lot of counseling. Then there are home visits. And after diagnosis of multiple sclerosis, which is one of the critical disease, even under insurance policies. So people get sort of shattered. And for them, counseling, lot of information is very important. And this is a place where we are giving all the latest information. In case of Multiple Sclerosis Society of India, we are affiliated to Multiple Sclerosis International Federation. So from there also, we get the most updated information across world about the treatment, symptoms, and various options. So we are always giving that to all the patients or whoever is asking for the same. We are doing a lot of counseling. The counseling is very crucial when a person is diagnosed and counseling is required for the person as well as his family member. That we have been doing right from beginning. We are looking at physical rehabilitation. In case of physical rehabilitation, for multiple sclerosis, the physiotherapy is very, very important. And we have been providing physiotherapy to most of our patients from various chapters at either free or concessional rate. And this has been given on for long time. Again, we are giving occupational therapy for basically rehabilitation, their further rehabilitation. That's what we have been looking at. And there are further options in case of rehabilitation, which we are exploring, and we are going to give them to our patients. We are looking at economic rehabilitation also. We provide financial assistance to needy people. We provide some laptop machine, computers, sewing machines, etc. Even we have provided seed capital to some people who have wanted to start up with small enterprises. So we want to have complete rehabilitation. Please remember, in case of multiple sclerosis, a person, generally it is striking young adult, and young adult who is around 20, 18, 20 years old, and he has whole life, and the lifespan is not affected like other terminal diseases like cancer and all. So they are going to live normal life, and for them, rehabilitation or regular the economic activity is very important. We are providing financial assistance, as we have mentioned there just now. Also, we are giving educational help to MSPs and their children for their furtherance, and we have been giving other assistance like monthly grocery during pandemic and all other sort of things. Then there is a social rehabilitation also. Caregivers meet, then patient get together. They have Mera Sapna project, holiday projects, Diwali program, various. We have been keeping our multiple sclerosis patients socially busy. We have free annual multidisciplinary medical camps at various locations. Again, in nutshell, we are doing, even there are disease modified therapies, and we are collective basis. We are giving some financial aid to them. Physiotherapy.
Sir, just 1 second. Sorry to interrupt. I request Mr. Amit Kumar, Mr. Gangala, to please keep his video in mute. Please, it is interrupting the resource person. Please keep your video in mute. I request everyone to please keep their video in mute. Thank you so much, sir. So you can continue.
Sure. You can hear me well, right? There is no problem, right?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Okay, fine. So these are the, again, main, I'm just elaborating that. And in the starting point, these are, yes, same thing, medical camp, counseling, recreation program, etc. That is what we have been doing. Now let me come to the other aspect. Today is World MS Day, that is 30th May. We are celebrating this as a World MS Day. It brings the global MS community together. This is a very important program for creating awareness about multiple sclerosis. And today there are numerous programs conducted across India and also, believe me, across world. There are a lot of programs conducted at this moment, which is going to be basically going to educate all the people, all the stakeholders about multiple sclerosis. Because multiple sclerosis is not understood, forget about by lay people, but many doctors are also not knowing. So because it is important for everybody to know, and various diagnostics too. So we are interested in creating awareness. And for that reason, we have been celebrating World Multiple Sclerosis World MS Day, which is 30th May. Yeah. This is the current theme is connection. Connection campaign is all about building communities, connection, self connection, etc. This is what is the slogan. These are the campaigns which are there. Now, this is an important slide. What I want you to do, I want you to first of all be aware about what is multiple sclerosis and spread that awareness to various people. What is multiple sclerosis? Then join as volunteer. We require various volunteers for raising MS awareness on various platforms, then identifying new MS patients, writing newsletter articles, etc. Brightening up MS Family Day with your visits. See, home visits to family is very important. Even phone call is also important for many family MS patients. So we want to do all this. And we are always giving, apart from obviously conveyance and all, we are giving, important is certificate. And if you are registered as a counselor, physiotherapist, occupational therapist, speech therapist, healthcare professional with Multiple Sclerosis Society of India, it's very important for your own career as well, because our society is internationally recognized. We are part of Multiple Sclerosis International Federation, which is based in UK, and our certificate does carry lot of weight, especially for those physiotherapists and all. If they are working, they are even providing services to multiple sclerosis patients, then all the advanced countries like USA and European countries, there are a lot of people with multiple sclerosis are there, and there are a lot of welfare-oriented schemes. And for them, they require our physiotherapist and all. And there also our certificate definitely carries weight. That's all I wanted to mention. And these are our contact details. Please note down these details. Please note down our website, www.mssocietyindia.org. This is head office number is 2430-7390, and email homssofindia@gmail.com. I always request people to join as volunteer, identify more and more patients, spread the awareness, and that's all my say is. And I'm open for all question answers pertaining to this session. Anushri ma'am, my presentation is over. Hello?
Hello. So can you hear me?
Yeah, my presentation is over. I'm open for question answers.
Any questions anybody is having? You can raise your hands.
Now I will like to say something, if there is a time permitting. After the
Yes,
question,
sir.
I will like to mention about advocacy, which is again an
Yes,
important topic. So for that, there is no presentation, but I will directly talk. Can I close this screen?
Yes, sir. So you can
Yes,
talk
sir.
about advocacy and then we can have a question.
Ma'am,
answer.
ma'am, one question. Sir, ma'am,
Okay.
one question.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Can people die from MS?
Sorry, come again.
Do people die from MS?
So your voice is not audible. Can you please tell again?
Do people die from MS?
Okay.
Multiple
It's important.
sclerosis says,
Yeah,
sir.
let me explain to you. See, multiple sclerosis is not a terminal disease, and people are not dying from MS per se. They are living their normal life. But unfortunately, that life gets affected with the onset of multiple sclerosis, with a lot of issues which are there. However, now with modern treatment, it is possible, once it is diagnosed, it is possible to maintain there or reduce the further symptoms. That is what I wanted to say. So it is not a terminal disease like cancer.
Which therapy is Slow processing MS.
Sir,
Sir?
it's not audible. Please tell again.
Yeah, multiple
Which
sclerosis.
therapy is often recommended for treatment?
The various
Which
therapies,
therapy is treating, sir?
Okay.
various
So you are
therapies.
talking what is therapy? Sure, sir, please.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
So therapy, there are DMTs, which is known as drug modifying therapy, disease modifying therapy. There are various therapies which are available now. And I don't want to bore with details of medical thing because that is basically prescribed by various neurologists. But there are lot of DMT drugs which are available and they can maintain you and your condition for long time. So, and there are a lot of new advances which are happening. So those who are getting diagnosed now also need not be worried because compared to 20 years back, now things are very much different. And on the at the type of various therapies which are available and keeping your life at the without further deterioration. So let me explain
Sir,
more
one question more.
advocacy. Yeah, I will take one more question and then
Sir,
I
I
will
have
talk
a
about
question.
advocacy. Please.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Sir, at which age it can be diagnosed? And another question, is there any provision for early intervention?
Yes,
Can
of
you hear
course.
me, sir?
Yes, I have here.
This is Shoma Bhattacharya here.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you
okay.
very much for your question. As far as early diagnosis is concerned, see, technically, even it can strike for children also. There are very few cases of pediatric multiple sclerosis also, but mostly it is coming in the age of 18 to 45. That is maximum number of patients which are diagnosed that day. Even earlier also some patients are there, but mostly classically they are patients who are diagnosed at, during 18 to 45. Maximum number of cases are there. As far as the disease controlling treatment is concerned, now it is the earlier it is diagnosed, it is better. Now with multiple MRI, magnetic resolution imaging, it is much easier for neurologists to diagnose uh, symptoms of multiple sclerosis exactly, and they will be able to diagnose it and treat it immediately. So that will be very helpful for the patients. Have I answered your query?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So shall I
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
shall I move on to
One-
advocacy?
One more question,
We
sir.
will take the questions later. Sir will be talking about self-advocacy for people with multiple sclerosis. After that, we can have a 5 to 10 minutes of question answer round.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So in case of
Okay, ma'am.
advocacy,
Thank you, sir.
yeah. Now what I want to highlight is for multiple sclerosis or I think there is noise.
I have question, sir.
I request
I will take your
everyone,
question.
please keep yourself mute.
I have a question, sir.
Sir, we will take the questions in the end.
Last
After
question,
few
my
minutes.
question.
Yeah, I will answer your question. After just I am mentioning about advocacy. And in that case, afterwards, we will take your question. Don't worry.
Any
Okay.
book to refer to MS disease?
Mr. Ashok,
Yeah.
we will answer the question. Just give us some time. Sir will be talking about self-advocacy. After that, we will have a question answer round.
Anusha, just one statement I want to make here. So to everybody in the audience, one request, please keep your mic on mute. And in the next presentation, I'm going to explain all about multiple sclerosis. So I am quite sure that most of the questions on MS, its prevalence, and how to really rehabilitate it will be answered in my upcoming presentation. I think what Sandeep sir is going to talk about next is extremely important on self-advocacy. So I'll request everybody to please bear with us. We will really appreciate your patience. Thank you.
Thank you. Please mute your those who are not speaking. Please mute this. Yeah. Now, regarding this advocacy, let me explain about RPWD Act, Right of People with Disability Act 2016. This act has given recognition to the disabilities, and because of that, it is important for all the organization to recognize disability and give normal treat disabled with a actually they need to be given a special treatment, and government has been giving a special treatment. And fortunately, now multiple sclerosis is also recognized as one of the 21 disabilities. This is even I am told you are concerned with intellectual disability. That is also part of this 21 disabilities. So for both of that, I would say the benefits and how to get the registration and all will be similar for everybody. So please understand that from the perspective of operational, how to get various benefits. See, all these benefits which are there, they are benefits to get. First of all, you have to get disability certificate, and now UDID card, that is unique disability ID card, which has been prescribed by central government. But to get this disability, see, disability is a concurrent subject between center and state. So getting disability certificate is basically operational rules are framed by various states. So each state is having different rules. So now all of you are located in Vashi, that is Mumbai. So Maharashtra government is more relevant for you. And of course, Central Act, which is RPWD Act 2016, and whatever amendments which are being made to that act are going to be relevant for looking at the paradigm of advocacy and paradigm of benefits what we will be getting. So getting this UDID becomes very challenging for
Sir, you're on mute, sir. Yes.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you're audible now.
Okay. So for multiple sclerosis patients, to get disability certificate becomes very challenging, and to get benchmark disability 40% again becomes challenging, for which we have been advocating at various forums. First of all, getting disability certificate, you have to visit the municipal hospital, the certifying hospitals in Maharashtra. Let me specify.
सर म्यूट हो गए आप फिर से.
Sir, you are making.
You are on mute.
No. I am making myself.
Yeah.
I think you
Yes,
are.
sir, you're audible now.
Yeah. I think everybody's. You are making everybody mute. That's why it is. Yeah. Stop sharing is fine.
Hello.
No. Okay. Fine. So again, I am repeating my sentence that getting disability certificate for multiple sclerosis patient becomes very difficult because of prevalence of invisible symptoms, and invisible symptoms like fatigue, severe fatigue, what they are having, and depression. These are not basically recognized, or they cannot be visible. And when they are not visible, it is impossible for anybody to quantify them. And that is what our contention is, to remove this quantification for multiple sclerosis patients and give them benchmark disability certificate, which is 40%, or just mention as a benchmark. Of course, it is still under process and it will take some time. However, to get that certificate, even from intellectual disability, what many of your people are concerned with. Hello? Many of your people are concerned with. You need to visit. First of all, you need to register on UDID portal, and they will be guiding you to a particular assessment center. And when you are getting to that assessment center, there uh, maybe for intellectual disability, it may be easier for access with the particular people, set of doctors. But for multiple sclerosis, it becomes very difficult. And that itself is a major advocacy task. I won't elaborate too much on that because it will take a long time. But I just wanted to highlight the issue about the assessment and getting UDID card, because without UDID,
basic ingredients for muscle strength or
please,
gene action.
please mute yourself, sir.
Mr. Jitu, please mute yourself.
Yeah. Getting disability certificate is a starting point for be eligible for any benefit under government schemes. Mr.
Mr. Jitu, please mute yourself.
Anushka ma'am.
Hello. Okay, fine. So after getting the disability certificate, you are entitled for many of the benefits. I will highlight the benefits, which are, first of all, getting income tax benefit under Section 80U. Then there are various concessions like railway concession. Then there are various government schemes, insurance scheme. Again, for insurance also, we have been doing a lot of advocacy, because again, to get insurance benefit for disabled people becomes difficult. However, very recently, the Insurance Regulatory Development Authority, IRDA, has issued a circular on 28th of February, by which it has mandated to issue specific policy for disability, those who are covered with disability, 21 disabilities. So you will be also covered. Those who are having intellectual disability also will be covered. Multiple sclerosis also is covered. However, we are looking at improving that policy. So that is, all the companies are going to issue that policy now for multiple, all disabled people. Again, there is a job-specific reservation in government up to 5%. For that also, getting that may be a little issue at the moment, but the advocacy has to be going on. And that's what I wanted to highlight. So this is what I wanted to preliminary mention about the advocacy, by which I would like to take your question, because I like to make it more interactive and not like a monologue. Again, I will mention, as Anjali has rightly mentioned, that she will be giving more details about multiple sclerosis, and it's again treatment related thing. So I will prefer if you can ask me anything about the various services which Multiple Sclerosis Society is giving, then regarding advocacy, how to get benefits out of various advocacy measures. I will be happy to answer any of your questions, but if it is focused, I will be able to answer in a better way. Thank you very much. Anusha, please open the question answers.
Yes. So anyone is having questions, please raise your hands. Or you can unmute yourself, but only one by one. You can post your questions in chat box as well.
Sir, one question is there. Hello.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Miss Harsha, please
sir,
tell.
Sir, what are the symptoms, sir? Basic symptoms.
See, basic symptom, I will tell you. Actually, Anjali will be again elaborating on that, but I will just inform that
Okay,
from
sir.
your brain to your various organs, the signals are not going. So many times it starts with visual issues, double vision, tingling sensation, then fatigue, unusual fatigue, depression. If you are feeling more of these symptoms, 3-4 symptoms, then it will be better. Then only you need to see, first of all, general practitioner and also neurologist. they will be able to diagnose perfectly in that case. That's all I wanted to say. I won't highlight more on the symptoms because again, the next speaker is going to talk about it.
I have a question to regarding, sir, any refer to books proper for knowledge, MS, multiple
Okay. See,
disease.
better than book. I will tell you better than book. Please visit our website itself. Multiple Sclerosis Society of India and also Multiple Sclerosis International Federation. MS. There is a repository of information on MS, multiple sclerosis, and which is updated regularly. So you will get the most updated thing. Apart from see, books and all will be there, but that book will be different. If you want the latest information, these websites will give you the most updated. Next question, please.
So what was the slogan for multiple sclerosis?
Slogan?
Yes, it was there was a slogan. It was written. Slogan was there.
1%, please. Hello, sir.
We will have one question at a time.
Yes, ma'am. Highest risk factor of developing MS.
Risk factor of developing MS. Okay. Risk factor, unfortunately, what has happened is multiple sclerosis is still being researched, and there are various certain risk factors. Again, I will skip those risk factor research and put here because Anjali is going to deal with those things. You will come to know about it. Anything on
So we will restrict the questions related to self-advocacy because we have a next speaker who will be talking in detail about symptoms, causes, management of multiple sclerosis. Any questions related to self-advocacy?
Good morning. I have one question, sir. Did you have to fight for to get MS included in the RPWD Act?
Sorry, did you
How
have to?
difficult was it to get MS included in RPWD Act as a disability?
Yeah, it was definitely a long drawn process, and the representations were given at various levels, and basically representation have to be given to Ministry of Health, Ministry of Social Empowerment, and host of other. Then only these things will come. So it's important to keep on doing advocacy. See, because right of even basic advocacy for any disability, any people with disability, they are earlier they were completely ignored. Till 2016, they were not that earlier legislation which was there since 94 was grossly inadequate. So it is result of advocacy by many people, and it has been happening. It's a continuous process, but it is not a one-day process, and it happens. It was long-term process, and now it is in one of the 21 disabilities. As your specifically learning disability, people with intellectual disability, autism, they are also part of it, of that 21 disabilities.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, multiple sclerosis is a genetic disorder.
No, it is not genetic disorder. So far, it has been, there have been a lot of research on that, but it is not confirmed as a genetic disorder. There are certain times likelihood, but not 100%, or I would say it's not conclusively proved that it will be genetically passed. And in fact, most of the time it is not passed. That is what is being proved so far. Still, the research is underway, but please rest assured that it is not neither contagious nor genetically transmitted.
Thank you, sir.
So do we have any other questions on self-advocacy?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I want to know that when I working with a person who's suffering from multiple sclerosis, how can I help him or her?
Okay. Somebody from your known sources is suffering from multiple sclerosis, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, please contact the nearest chapter of multiple sclerosis. We have chapters. They are mentioned in on our website also. We have 9 chapters. Whichever is nearest to you. Mumbai, we
Yes,
have
sir.
Pune, we have chapter in Maharashtra. Then all the metros like Delhi, Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Kolkata, and Indore, we are having chapters. And recently we have opened in Trivandrum also. But anywhere across India, anybody is having multiple sclerosis, they can contact the nearest chapter or also on our website also. So then we will be very happy to help them. Once they are registered as a MSP, that is also very helpful because we help. Most important thing is our
We
chapter
help.
going to help for getting UDID also, that is disability certificate itself. So for that also we have been helping. First of all, we are helping them in
We helping them.
getting
And sir, a little bit query, something like that. Is there similarity in CP and multiple sclerosis, cerebral palsy and multiple sclerosis?
multiple sclerosis and another one which you
And
mentioned?
cerebral palsy, there is any similarity or not?
Not exactly. They are not similar.
Okay.
Not
Thank
exactly.
you, sir, for
Yeah.
giving me a quality time. Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
Bhopti ji, I am so sorry I'm intervening again. I mean, I could not stop myself from answering your previous question on how you can be an ally and help people with MS. I want to answer this question only because I myself live with MS. I have been living with multiple sclerosis since the past 9 years. And with that, with my experience,
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
so I would just want to suggest that if you want to really help a person with multiple sclerosis, first understand multiple sclerosis in the right manner. Yes, our MS Society of India is always there to support in terms of, say, medical reimbursement or any other services that we provide. But in order to understand MS better, in order to help people with MS better, it's also important for everybody to understand multiple sclerosis in the right manner. क्योंकि जरूरी नहीं है जो आप सुनेंगे या जो आप इंटरनेट पे पढ़ेंगे
ma'am.
वही हर इंसान के लिए सच हो, right? It may not hold true for every individual with MS because every person with multiple sclerosis is different. So the best and the least you can do is understand it rightly and first speak to the person with MS himself or herself instead of going to the internet right away. That's something that I would like to suggest as a person with multiple sclerosis. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Actually, ma'am, I am a special educator on KV for MS or ID student.
Okay. Good to know that. Thank you, Bhupati.
Thank you, ma'am, for the information.
Thank you. So thank you so much, sir. It was a very, very wonderful session. You had given us so much of ideas on the self-advocacy and how MS was included in RPWD Act, which many of us didn't know. And a lot of things like you don't get easily on internet, and with your expertise, you could explain and clear a lot of queries which was there and with us. So thank you so much for the wonderful presentation, sir, and thank you for being there today.
Thank you.
So much, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Goodbye.
Before moving forward, I would request all the participants that we would be posting the attendance link in the chat box. You have to please fill in the attendance link, and we will also post the evaluation link. So it will be 2 questions, the evaluation link. So please open it and you have to answer to get the CRE points. And as I told, 250 is the capacity. So the ones who have filled it right and the ones who filled it first would be getting the points. So please fill in the attendance sheet and the evaluation link, which will be posted in the chat box. So moving forward, we have our next resource person, Ms. Anjali Vyas. Ms. Anjali Vyas is a chemical engineer by qualification and an IELTS trainer by profession. Anjali Vyas ma'am from Maharashtra. She is also a person with multiple sclerosis, which is an invisible disability. So she is also multiple sclerosis patient advocate and has been advocating for the rights of persons with multiple sclerosis in the Indian state of Maharashtra with the Multiple Sclerosis Society of India since 2018. Her journey as a self-advocate began after a year of her multiple sclerosis diagnosis when she wrote a letter to the Prime Minister of India demanding affordable treatment and research in multiple sclerosis in India. As the India MS Person 2021 awarded by MSSI, a petition on change.org seeking a national data on MS led to the launch of National Registry on MS by ICMR. Ms. Anjali was recently invited by the US Department of the State for its premier professional exchange program called the International Visitor Leadership Program in March 2023. She was also chosen as the ambassador of multiple sclerosis by the government of Goa at Purple Fest held in January 2023, which was the first and one of its kind inclusive fest of persons with disabilities in India. Ms. Anjali is also awarded with prestigious Javed Abidi Fellowship on Disability by NCPEDP in 2021. So these are just a few to name, and there is many more things about Ms. Anjali. So before wasting any more time, I would request Ms. Anjali to please speak about symptoms, causes, challenges faced by people with multiple sclerosis. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Anusha. Thank you so much. I would want to heartily thank NIPID for inviting me for this important discussion. I will sincerely request all the other participants to keep themselves on mute. And that is so because as a person with MS, I have some challenges. Other voices disturb me while I talk. तो मेरा आपसे नम्र निवेदन है कि आप अपने माइक्स को प्लीज म्यूट पर रखें अगर मैं बात कर रही हूँ क्योंकि मैं डिस्ट्रैक्ट हो जाती हूँ बिकॉज ऑफ द कंडीशन
माइक बंद है
नहीं कौशलेश जी आपका माइक बंद नहीं है जी अभी बंद हुआ Thank you. Also, I would want to request all the participants because I have been approached by a few people with visual impairment personally, and they would want me to make my presentation accessible. So to everybody, namaste, very good afternoon because it's 12 right now. My name is Anjali Vyas. My pronouns are she and her. I am a person with multiple sclerosis. I am wearing an orange colored top, a t-shirt, and I have let my hair loose, and I'm wearing spectacles in dark blue frame. So I think in the previous presentation, Sandeep sir has explained quite a lot about multiple sclerosis, and it was an amazing presentation, sir. Thank you for that, because our audience needs to know what even MSSI has been doing since so many years. मैं अपनी presentation को when I talk, I would want to make it bilingual. I will use parts of Hindi and English also in between. So if you have any issues, then please let me know. मैं चाहूंगी कि इससे हर किसी का फायदा हो, इसीलिए मैं अपने इस पूरे डिस्कशन को हिंदी और इंग्लिश दोनों में रखना चाहूंगी. So starting off with multiple sclerosis. See, we all have maybe known the definition in the previous presentation. I will quickly also present my slide. But meanwhile, मेरा आपसे एक सवाल है. Okay, so I will need the presentation rights, Anusha, because I cannot share. Yeah, thank you. So just imagine, I would want to start this presentation by sharing a story. ठीक है? हम एक कहानी सुनते हैं. And I know it's not a classroom, but it's important for everyone to understand this in the right manner, as I mentioned previously. Imagine a 20-year-old young boy or a girl, pursuing education or any education for that matter. And suddenly one day the person stops seeing things. Suddenly it just so happens that the optic nerves, जो आंखों की नसें होती हैं, वो suddenly they start hurting, है ना? And slowly and gradually the vision deteriorates. ठीक है, दिखना धीरे धीरे बंद हो जाता है. It drops. And after a few days, it just so happens that there is a vehicle or a truck coming by from the left or right of that person, and the person cannot even see that truck and is saved by one of his or her friends as they pull the person back, है ना? ऐसा व्यक्ति जिसको स्टार्ट हुआ ऐसा उनकी आंखों की नसों में दर्द होना शुरू हुआ, कुछ दिनों बाद उनको हल्का हल्का दिखना शुरू हुआ, और कुछ दिनों बाद उन्होंने और रियलाइज किया दैट व्हाइल द पर्सन वाज क्रॉसिंग द रोड, जैसे वो रोड क्रॉस कर रहे हैं, उन्हें बाजू से आता हुआ व्हीकल दिखाई नहीं दिया. बट फॉर्चुनेटली उनके शायद फ्रेंड ने उनकी सहायता करी और उनको हेल्प करके पुल कर लिया. नाउ इज दिस यूजुअल? I just want you to just think about it. It's not necessary कि अपना माइक अनम्यूट करके जवाब दें, but just think about it कि एक ऐसी एज, I'm talking about the age 20, okay, or maybe younger than that, and there is a gradual decrease in the vision, right? The person is not able to see, correct? I think the person looks absolutely fine. ना कोई infection है, there is no infection, there is no accident, history of accident. In fact, there is no evident difference on the face. The person looks absolutely fine, but cannot see. Do you think it is usual for any young person out there to experience? It's not, right? It's unusual, right? People are commenting. I'm so happy that people are getting more and more involved, right? I make it interactive as much as possible. So this is my story, everybody. ये मेरे साथ हुआ. When I was pursuing my engineering in the final year, of course, and I was just a month away from taking my exam. In the month of May, I was going to write my exam, and at March end, I got this. My vision got dropped, और धीरे धीरे मैंने देखा कि मेरी optic nerves pain कर रही है, hurt कर रही है, and suddenly on the 4th, 5th day, I could not see anything. When I went to my ophthalmologist, he freaked out. क्योंकि उन्हें समझ नहीं आया व्हाट्स रॉन्ग. व्हेन ही लिट द टॉर्च इन फ्रंट ऑफ माय, जब उन्होंने मेरी आंखों के सामने टॉर्च जलाया तो मुझे वो लाइट भी डिटेक्ट नहीं हुई. इमेजिन द विजन लॉस वाज सच दैट आई कुड नॉट इवन सेंस द लाइट. बट दिस डिड नॉट हैपन बिकॉज आई हैड एनी इन्फेक्शन. दिस डिड नॉट हैपन बिकॉज आई मेट विद एन एक्सीडेंट. It was because of something which was wrong with my nervous system, because I had a condition called multiple sclerosis. Now I know कि जो term है multiple sclerosis, it's a tongue twister. कोशिश करिए, चलिए everybody start again, keeping your mics on mute. Multiple sclerosis बोलने का try कीजिए. It's tough, right? We can't just like that say multiple sclerosis.
Multiple sclerosis.
Very good, Bhupati. I'm so happy. I want people to be more involved. So there are many people who struggle to even say
Multiple sclerosis.
Good. So from now on, what we will do, the ones who find it challenging to utter, we will just call it
Multiple sclerosis.
आपकी आवाज रुक गई मैडम.
Please, I request everyone to keep yourselves in mute. Mute में रख दीजिए, please.
Am I audible, guys?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Some glitch. Thank you. So what exactly multiple sclerosis is? I think Sandeep sir very nicely explained in the previous presentation. Multiple sclerosis is a disease of the central nervous system. If you go by the definition on the internet, I request everyone to please keep their mic on mute. So this is my second slide. this is my second slide, which has got a picture of human anatomy on the left of the slide, जिसमें हम एक human brain और spinal cord का एक pictorial representation देख सकते हैं, and towards the right is the text that describes multiple sclerosis. So if we go by the very medical definition of multiple sclerosis, it's a chronic disease affecting the central nervous system. I know it is very difficult to understand and also to interpret. So thank you, Rajat, for all your effort. What happens in multiple sclerosis is your spinal cord and your brain, they get affected. How exactly? It happens when the immune system, जो आपकी रोग प्रतिरोधक शक्ति है, the very immune system which is supposed to protect you, basically it starts hitting you and attacking you. What does it actually attack? वो attack करता किसको है, right? The immune system attacks the very protective layer or coating on your nerve fibers. जो आपके शरीर की जितनी भी नसें हैं, उनके ऊपर जो भी एक protective layer है ना, उसको the immune system starts attacking, and that protective layer is called myelin sheath, right? What happens in our homes? जो हमारे cable wires होते हैं, whatever electrical equipment we use in our houses, right? Every wire has got an insulation. Correct? सबके ऊपर एक plastic coating होता है. And but why does that have a plastic coating? ताकि उसके अंदर के जो copper wires हैं, right? वो protected रहे, so that there is a smooth flow of electricity, right? So as long as these wires are insulated, there is a smooth flow of electricity, and you can always use that particular electrical appliance. आप light bulb चालू कर सकते हैं, आप fan on कर सकते हैं. But what happens when that particular plastic coating gets cut or या फिर उसको scar आ जाएगा? What happens then? If that gets damaged, the very flow of electricity gets hindered, isn't it? बीच में वही जो electrons का ions का जो flow है वो बीच में अटक जाएगा, short circuit हो जाएगा, या फिर वो bulb या fan चालू नहीं होगा, right? This is what exactly happens in MS. So when we talk about the damage of myelin sheath, the very sheath that protects our nerves for the smooth flow of messages from your body to your brain, and then likewise from your brain to your body, because your brain commands your entire body, isn't it? So when this particular hindrance happens, that particular body part, जिसके ऊपर की myelin sheath damage हुई है, the very parts myelin sheath which has got damaged does not function properly, right? Now this damage can be temporary or it can be permanent. Why do I say that? Why can it be both? Because if you are treated in time, you can be saved. Maybe, you know, the myelin sheath that has got damaged after you are put on steroids or hospitalization, you can regain that capacity. Of course, not back to very normal, like to the very 100, but then yes, things can improve. But what if this entire episode gets untreated, unnoticed? Then the damage can be severe, and hence it can lead to a disability which is permanent, right? And which also becomes visible then. Most of the people that live with multiple sclerosis, you know, they do not in the very first few days or initial days of the diagnosis are not even aware what's going wrong with them, right? Let alone the people. I mean, unfortunately, you know, up until 2014, at least when I was diagnosed, there was very low awareness on this condition, even amongst the general practitioners. So I can understand that when it comes to other rehabilitation professionals, आप लोग इतनी मेहनत से सालों से काम कर रहे हैं for the welfare of people with disabilities. I really understand that, you know, the very challenges that you have to face in facilitating and rehabilitating people with multiple sclerosis. And I think that's the very reason we are discussing this today. So because this entire process is related to your nervous system, rather your central nervous system, it is not as visible, right? And hence majority of the symptoms of multiple sclerosis are not as visible. I will go to my next slide. Now this slide of mine has a pictorial representation of all the symptoms towards the right of the slide, with a picture of a woman with all the organs, explaining and comparing the healthy neuron and a damaged neuron, while also explaining what exactly are the parts of the body that get affected because of multiple sclerosis.
The slide is not moving.
It's
Change
not
the
moving?
slide. No.
I
We are on
see.
the.
Okay. Now is it visible?
Yes,
it
ma'am.
is visible, ma'am.
Yes,
Just
ma'am.
can you put it into full screen?
Yeah, is it not on a full screen mode?
No, ma'am, it is not
I
on a
see.
full.
Okay, wait then. I'm trying to do it. Okay, now I think it's presenting. And now let me know if you can
It's
see it.
visible, ma'am. It's visible, ma'am.
It is visible. Now can you see that? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible, but I think if you could put the slideshow, I think it will go into a full
Actually,
screen.
I'm doing that only. I don't know for some reason why it's not happening really. But then fine, maybe I'll explain it better. I mean, I'll try to talk more, right? Because ज़्यादा ज़रूरत नहीं है slide की तरह देखने का. I am trying to make it as interactive as possible. Before I explain the impact of multiple sclerosis, okay? Let me ask you a few questions. This is a quick activity और ये आपको अपने brain में करना है. आपको ये खुद सोचना है. You need not unmute yourself. जरूरत नहीं है आपको माइक पर बोलने की. आप सिर्फ ये सोचिए, उसका जवाब आप चैट बॉक्स में दीजिए. ठीक है? Imagine if I have asked you to put your hand, ठीक है, आपका right या left hand जो भी है, in a bucket full of ice, ठीक है, या chilled water for say 60 seconds, है ना? 1 मिनट के लिए आप अपना हाथ जो है वो एकदम ठंडे पानी में ना रखिए, ठीक है? और 1 मिनट बाद हाथ निकाल लीजिए बाहर और उसी हाथ से अपना नाम लिखने की कोशिश कीजिए. After 1 minute, pull your hand out from the bucket. Of course, dry it and try writing your name on a piece of paper. Would you be able to write your name properly? And you need to answer this to yourself. You need not unmute yourself. Yeah, आप simply chat में लिखिए. You can maybe write it in the chat box. Would you be able to write your name properly? Just a thought, okay? Another activity. Imagine I ask you to walk on a foam mattress. Foam mattress पता है ना आपको जो एकदम ज्यादा soft होती हैं, गद्देदार. ऐसी mattress पे I'm asking you to walk in a straight line for just 30 seconds. सिर्फ 30 seconds के लिए, half a minute, आपको straight line में एकदम सीधे एक गद्देदार surface पर चलना है. Will your walk be straight? Will you be able to walk straight without, falling down? Just answer yourself, right? And I am sure कि आपके पास इसका जवाब है. Most of you will also say that no, it will be difficult for us to even write our name because of certain issues. वो issues क्या है वो हम next slide में discuss करेंगे, right? I'm just leaving that thought in your head right now so that you can understand the impact of MS, right? That's why I asked you to think about these and answer the questions. I told you that the very myelin sheath that protects the nerve fibers gets damaged in MS, isn't it? अब अगर हम ये presentation, ये वाला slide देखते हैं, which has a comparison of what a healthy neuron looks like and what a damaged neuron looks like, you can see that if your neuron is absolutely healthy, if there is no damage of myelin sheath, you can hold a mug or a glass of water tightly, for that matter, right? अच्छे से उसको पकड़ सकते हैं. But if the neuron is damaged, if the very myelin sheath gets damaged, तो क्या होगा? और ये किसकी बात कर रहे हैं हम? The very neuron of your hand, okay? Because ये pictorial representation उन्होंने hand दिखाया है, तो हम हाथ के nerves की बात कर रहे हैं. Your entire body is involved in multiple sclerosis. Please understand that. It's not just your hands that can get affected, not just your vision. MS can affect any body part of yours, any organ of yours, right? In this particular slide, we are talking about the hand, right? So if the myelin sheath of the nerves of your hand gets damaged, your grip or the very capacity of yours to hold the mug will not be as strong as anybody else whose neuron is not that damaged, correct? So ये difference होता है. Yes.
Well, sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Myelin sheath क्या है, ma'am? Myelin sheath?
Myelin sheath वो एक प्रोटेक्टिव लेयर होता है ना? जैसे मैंने आपको भी 5 मिनट पहले बताया, जैसे हमारे केबल वायर्स के ऊपर एक प्रोटेक्टिव लेयर होती है प्लास्टिक की, इंसुलेशन होता है ना, जो बचा के रखता है अंदर की कॉपर वायर्स को. वैसे माइलिन शीथ हमारी सारी नसों को, सारे नर्व्स को प्रोटेक्ट करके रखता है. इट्स अ प्रोटेक्टिव लेयर जिसकी वजह से आपके नर्व्स के अंदर मैसेजेस का ट्रांसमिशन होता है फ्रॉम बॉडी टू ब्रेन. अच्छा, अगर इसको मैं और सिंप्लीफाइड तरीके से बताऊं, ठीक है? इमेजिन कि आपके हाथों की नसें के ऊपर की माइलिन शीट डैमेज हो गई। हम अभी हैंड का एग्जांपल ले रहे हैं, या लेग का ले लीजिए, आपको जो सही लगे, है ना। अगर उसके ऊपर की प्रोटेक्टिव लेयर डैमेज हो गई और मैं आपको मान लीजिए कोई एक हॉट स्पून या कोई एक हॉट पर्टिकुलर प्लेट अगर आपके पैर पर लगा दूं या आपके हाथ पे लगा दूं, तो क्या होगा पता है? वो जो मैसेज है ना आपके हाथ से आपके ब्रेन तक जाने वाला कि ये गर्म ऑब्जेक्ट है, दिस इज अ हॉट ऑब्जेक्ट, राइट? आई हैव टू पुल माय हैंड बैक, I have to save myself because this particular thing is hot. That will not happen. Why? Because the myelin sheath is damaged. So the message from your hand to the brain will not go, and hence your brain will not be able to command you, isn't it? कि आप अपना हाथ पीछे ले लीजिए. That's what happens. There's an interruption of the messages, flow or transmission of messages from your body to your brain and your brain to your body part. Okay, does that answer your question properly?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So in this particular example that we were talking about the impact, we were discussing about how a neuron of hand, if gets affected.
अभी बोलो, मैं बस पकड़ती हूँ और वो पकड़ती हूँ ना।
Will you please keep yourself on mute?
टाइप करके सोची थी कि जब शालू आई ना तो साइड
Miss Parvati, can you please keep yourself in mute?
Yeah. So we were talking about the impact on hand as an example, right? But as I said, it can affect any organ or body part of yours. It may start with the vision. मैं ये नहीं कह रही कि सिर्फ vision loss is the very indicator, right? I don't want anyone here to get confused or misunderstand कि multiple sclerosis में vision loss ही होता है. In my case, there was a vision loss, but in many cases, people also experience double vision. दो दिखता है चीज, right? There are people whose spinal cord gets affected in the very beginning of the diagnosis, जिससे कि उनकी walking ability affect हो जाती है, right? They are not able to walk properly, या उनको पैरों में दिक्कत आती है, उनको pain होता है. The very senses, right? Sense of touch. जैसे मैंने कहा ना कि अगर आपको मैं कोई hot plate लगा दूं हाथ में, आपको पता ही नहीं चलेगा कि कुछ गर्म है. Why? Because the senses may also get damaged. It really depends on what is the very part of the body जिसका myelin sheath damage हुआ है, right? They're your muscles. My God, I mean, I can go on and on about this particular issue because it is faced by most of the people with MS. There's a very excruciating pain in the muscles, right? आपको spasticity feel होता है, ऐसा लगता है आपके हाथ पैर एकदम जकड़ गए. You are not able to move your hands and legs properly. In fact, there is one symptom in MS which is called as MS hug. यानी कि ऐसा लगता है आपको किसी ने बहुत कस के ऐसे ना पकड़ लिया है और आप बिल्कुल हिल नहीं पा रहे हो. That is also a sensation that might happen. ये भी एक impact है MS का. Then of course, because it is a disease of the central nervous system, I don't like to call it a disease because जैसे हम disease बोलते हैं, लोगों के दिमाग में एक वो impression आता है कि एक बीमारी है, इसको हाथ लगाएंगे तो हमें भी हो जाएगी. Scientifically इसको disease भी कहते हैं, बहुत लोग इसको disorder भी बोलते हैं. For me, it is still debatable. I don't like to call it a disease. It is just a disorder according to me. I mean, as a person with MS, I like to call it a disorder. तो इसमें आपका ब्रेन इन्वॉल्व है, डेफिनेटली आपका कॉग्निटिव एबिलिटी भी थोड़ा सा अफेक्ट होता है. यू नो, समटाइम्स द स्पीच आल्सो गेट्स इम्पेयर्ड. सो आई एम अ लैंग्वेज ट्रेनर, इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज ट्रेनर बाय प्रोफेशन, राइट? देयर आर डेज इन माय प्रोफेशन एंड माय लाइफ जब मेरा स्पीच इतना इम्पेयर हो जाता है कि मैं कभी कभी ब्रैबर करने लगती हूँ. माय स्टूडेंट्स आल्सो समटाइम्स आर शॉक्ड टू सी दैट, यू नो, वन डे आई वाज टॉकिंग इन अ पर्टिकुलर पेस, मैं अच्छे से बात कर रही थी या मेरी स्पीच क्लियर थी, and then suddenly I'm not able to utter certain words even properly, right? So even your speech gets impaired. It can, and it's not that कि ये permanent हो जाएगा, यानी कि सबको ये सारे issues होंगे. Please remember, all of these symptoms do not happen all together to a person with MS. They can be periodic. They can of course be permanent in progressive cases of multiple sclerosis. But it's not that कि एक इंसान को ये सब होना है, right? Not everybody who lives with MS experiences every single symptom that you're looking here. They can happen in parts and parcels of their lives. Then our digestive system, right, also gets affected because, as I said, आपका brain monitor आपका CPO है ना body का. So if that's affected, then your entire body gets affected. And then your urinary system. Now, this is a very common challenge which is found in people with MS as well. कि हमारा जो incontinence का issue है वो बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. What do I mean by that? I mean that we have to take a lot of trips to the bathroom every single day. मतलब मैं दिन में 5 से 6 बार वॉशरूम ऐसे ही चले जाती हूँ. I'm not talking about the season. यहाँ summers और winters की बात नहीं हो रही है, right? यहाँ बात हो रही है in general. हमारा urinary incontinence बढ़ जाता है, यानी कि हमारा bladder control नहीं रह पाता है because of MS. which is why we have to take the trips to the washroom every now and then. And because sometimes it becomes very difficult for us to, go to the washroom every now and then, many people with MS also prefer to wear diapers. And when I say this, imagine a 20 or 25-year-old wearing a diaper. That's why it becomes a very big stigma as well. It's a shame for many people, and people don't come out and talk about it as often. I'll again request the very participant who's unmuted to mute their device, please. Now, this is my next slide that talks about the symptoms. मैंने आप लोगों से एक सवाल पूछा था कुछ देर पहले, right? I asked
Mr.
you.
Zakir, sorry to intervene, ma'am. Miss Zakir Suma, can you please mute yourself? I request all the participants to make sure that your mics are mute so that we can, ma'am.
Thank you. So I already explained symptoms like in a nutshell in the previous slide. Now this slide of mine has again a pictorial representation of a human body along with the symptoms of multiple sclerosis on the left, and towards the right of my slide there is a text that explains about these symptoms, right? So if you see, most of the people with multiple sclerosis experience n number of symptoms, majority of which are invisible in nature. बहुत सारे जो symptoms हमारे multiple sclerosis में होते हैं, वो दिखाई नहीं देते, वो नजर नहीं आते, इसलिए लोगों को समझ में नहीं आता, right? So we are often misunderstood, or we are not even understood properly. What are these symptoms really, right? It can be vision problems, as I already mentioned, right? Then there's muscle spasm, there's cognitive dysfunction, जो मैंने पहले भी आपको explain किया, थोड़ा सा cognitive disability. I'll not call it an intellectual disability. Everybody on this particular meeting, please do not mistaken it as a neurodiverse condition or an intellectual disability. Multiple sclerosis is none of these, ठीक है? Please, ये intellectual disability नहीं है. Yes, इसमें cognitive ability impair हो जाती है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हम लोग completely lose कर देते हैं. जैसे मैंने कहा, it can be periodic, it can vary from person to person, ठीक है? तो जब मैं cognitive ability affect होने की बात कर रही हूँ, it's not that कि हम लोगों को चीजें समझ नहीं आती है. कई बार हमसे चीजें छूट जाती है, मिस हो जाती है, because there is a brain fog. कुछ चीजें हम लोग forget कर देते हैं, भूल जाते हैं, right? Sometimes even the simplest of questions or equations हमको उस particular point of time पर नहीं solve कर पाते हैं. Because of the very condition, it does not mean that it has intellectually impaired us, right? So it is not an intellectual disability at all. It has nothing to do with any other neurological condition. Multiple sclerosis is a separate disability altogether. And you all know कि RPWD Act में इसको एक dedicated space मिला है. So it's a neurological condition, right? Therefore, जब हमारा brain impair हो जाता है, brain का functionality impair हो जाता है, तब we also experience numbness and tingling. What is numbness and tingling? हाथों में झंझनी चढ़ जाना. मैंने आपको आइस वाला एग्जांपल दिया ना, जहां आपने अपना हाथ आइस बकेट में डाला, when I asked you to put your hand in the ice bucket and try writing your name, you will not be able to write your name properly, right? Why? Because your hands will go all numb, है ना, एकदम ऐसे ठंडे पड़ जाएंगे. तो वो जो 1 मिनट का आपका एक्सपीरियंस होगा ना, that is something that I live with every single day. मेरा लेफ्ट हैंड पूरा नम है, राइट? सो कई दफा मैं अपने लेफ्ट हैंड से, या कई बार ऐसा राइट हैंड में मुझे टिंगलिंग हो जाती है, ऐसे झंझनी जैसी चढ़ जाती है, राइट? आई एम नॉट एबल टू होल्ड द ग्लास ऑफ वाटर प्रॉपर्ली, आई एम नॉट एबल टू राइट माय नेम प्रॉपर्ली. बट कैन यू सी इट? नो. इफ यू लुक एट मी राइट नाउ, क्या आप बोल पाएंगे मुझे कोई ऐसी कंडीशन है? बिकॉज इट इज कंप्लीटली इनविजिबल, राइट? दिखाई नहीं देता है, बट इट इज इम्पेयरिंग मी ना. मेरे को तो डिसेबल कर ही रही है ना एक तरीके से, टू परफॉर्म द रेगुलर टास्क, इजंट इट? So most of these symptoms are not visible, and hence हमारे जो rights होते हैं उनको हम exercise नहीं कर पाते. I'm going to come to that at a later stage of my presentation. As of now, we will learn about the symptoms. I spoke about muscle spasms, weakness, bladder dysfunction, excruciating pain. दर्द बहुत होता है, कई बार समझ नहीं आता why is it happening. But do you know what is the most common symptom? जो संदीप सर ने भी बताया previous presentation में, unusual fatigue. Extreme fatigue. What do you mean by fatigue? Fatigue means tiredness. थकान. बिना बात के थकान होती है. I will sleep for 10 hours a day. Yet जब मैं अगले 11वें घंटे उठूंगी सोकर, still I will feel fatigued. It's not because मैं over सो गई, ठीक है? It's not because I overslept. Multiple sclerosis leads to extreme fatigue, and that fatigue, kind of stops us to do certain things, to perform certain tasks, which is extremely difficult also for us to explain to people, right? So you must also know that these symptoms जिनकी मैंने बात करी, इनकी severity, you know, how severe can they be, and the very duration of these symptoms can vary from person to person. I would want everybody in the audience to note and underline the statement that every person with multiple sclerosis is different. हर व्यक्ति जिसको MS है वो अलग है दूसरे से. I live with a condition which is called remitting relapsing MS. वो एक stage होती है MS की, right? ऐसे there are many people who have the same condition, but it may not be true for my other friend. हो सकता है मेरे body में fatigue levels 10 on 10 हो, बहुत ज्यादा मुझे थकान experience होती हो, but my friend might be experiencing fatigue से 5 on 10, है ना, उनको थकान कम लगती हो, right? या उनका tingling and numbness का experience ज्यादा हो, severity ज्यादा हो, duration ज्यादा हो, और मेरा कम हो. The symptoms are similar, but that does not mean that, you know, it is the same, right? So you should note that every person with MS is different, right? And it's not the case that every person with multiple sclerosis will land up in a wheelchair, right? No, it is not always disabling, right? Because as I said, the early the person is diagnosed and put on medication, the better it is for the person to manage, right? That is the very background of the symptoms and how it looks like. Now let's talk about the prevalence of multiple sclerosis. I think in the previous segment, there were people who wanted to understand as to when is a person with MS diagnosed, or is there's any early intervention possible there. Rajat, I'm so sorry. If at all you feel that I am going very fast, I'm sorry, I would have been watchful. अगर आपको ऐसा लग रहा हो कि मैं थोड़ा फास्ट जा रही हूँ, please let me know, ठीक है, ताकि मैं थोड़ा आराम से बोलूँ.
No, it's okay. I'm fine.
Okay, thank you, Rajat. Yes. So let's talk about the prevalence. Now, in this particular slide of mine, there is the world map towards the left that talks about, you know, prevalence of multiple sclerosis in different countries, color coded. And on the right, there is a text that describes this prevalence. So do you know that in the Western countries, multiple sclerosis is very common? Why it is common? There are many questions. I would like to answer those particular questions towards the end of my presentation, not as of now. मैं ये सब explain करूँगी आपको end में, right? But in India, it is rare. So now, up until I think 2019 or so, it was considered rare. Up until the National Registry on Multiple Sclerosis was not launched, it was considered rare, right? Because according to a few articles and few researches and the MS International Federation's survey, there are approximately 2 to 3 lakh people with MS in India. Praveen ji, आप please अपना mic mute पे करेंगे. I will request Praveen ji to keep their mic on.
Mr. Ravin, please keep yourself on mute.
So there are 2 to 3 lakh approximately people living with MS in India. This is as per the MS International Federation survey. But last year, do you know, there was this National Registry on MS which was launched. And I'm happy to share that I had led that petition with the MS Society of India. And because of that petition, a National Registry on Multiple Sclerosis in the country was launched by ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research. And as per that, there are approximately 20 to 40 lakh people with MS in India. It's not as rare, isn't it? But then do you see these people very often? No, right? You did not even know much about multiple sclerosis until maybe, you know, we spoke about it at length. How can you know these stats? So to understand these stats and to really kind of get a better understanding on multiple sclerosis, you can also visit the very website of MS Society of India and a crowdsourced map, which is called India MS Map. You can find this India MS Map on www.indiamsmap.org. आप जब इस website पे जाएंगे, when you will go to this particular site, it will take you to a proper map जिसमें there are close more than 2,500 people living with MS who have registered themselves on their map. It is a crowd-sourced map, यानी कि आप खुद से अपना, अगर आपको MS है तो आप खुद से अपने आप को उस पर रजिस्टर कर सकते हैं. And it is the one-stop destination and source to record and to, of course, understand the prevalence of multiple sclerosis in India. I was also, very happy to hear the question from somebody in the audience कि ये early intervention का इसमें scope है क्या, किनको ये होता है. Do you know, unfortunately, multiple sclerosis manifests at a younger age. 20 से 30 साल की उम्र के बीच multiple sclerosis usually young लोगों में पाया जाता है. And the more surprising and the sad fact is that more than 60% of these young people are women. ये औरतों में ज्यादा पाया जाता है 20 से 30 साल की उम्र में, right? This is something that you will also find on the India MS map, क्योंकि वो proper record है हमारा, उस पे हमने proper एक representation दिया है where you can see that there is a lot of people and women with MS who are diagnosed in the very age group of 19 to 45 to 30, right? And it is prevalent in women because of several other reasons. I know many of you will have questions ki why is it prevalent in women more? The only answer that I can give as a person with MS, I'm not a medical expert, okay? तो मैं आपके एकदम medical queries को answer तो कर नहीं पाऊंगी because I'm neither a medical expert nor a neurologist. But मुझे इतना जरूर पता है, and you will also agree that the hormones in a woman's body to that of men's, they function differently, right? And of course, both because the male and female bodies function differently, there are certain factors that also are influential in basically manifesting multiple sclerosis or getting affected by multiple sclerosis. Why multiple sclerosis happens was also one of the questions that I heard. And I would like to answer that in a different manner. As I said, I'm not an expert. But what causes multiple sclerosis really? इसको मैं आपको एक short में बताना चाहूंगी कुछ चीजें. See, India is a tropical country. Why it was rare for a long time in India is because we have ample of sunlight. We experience all the 4 seasons here. And we have got, I think, the best environment. Of course, now due to the heat waves and global warming, things are getting worse. But then for a long time, ours was a very nice country with favorable weather and temperature to survive, right? When I said that MS is prevalent in the Western countries, ये बाकी देशों में क्यों ज्यादा prevalent था? वो आप देशों को अगर देखेंगे, तो those are cold countries. वहाँ ठंड बहुत होती है, right? Canada has the highest population of people with MS in the world. जानते हैं आप? और ये क्यों है? US, Canada और Europe, UK में क्यों है ये? Because वहाँ पे उनको sunlight साल में कुछ ही महीनों दिखती है. So there is a lack and deficiency of vitamin D in the body. Also, they have a different lifestyle, isn't it? Their eating habits are different, correct? और वहाँ पर जिस तरीके से demography है, वहाँ पे जैसे लोग का population है, male, female, etc., the way the people live and lead the life, they are very different to that of how Indians kind of survive in the country, isn't it? Therefore, for a long time, it was not as known in India. It was not as prevalent in India, correct? Yes, environmental factors are also one of the most important risk indicators, जिसका एक question किसी audience में किसी ने पूछा था. Environmental factors का role definitely है इसमें. And to answer, genetic predisposition, मैं इसको ज़्यादा detail में समझाना नहीं चाहूँगी क्योंकि मैं medical expert नहीं हूँ, but there are certain genetic factors involved as well. और ये मैं आपको इसीलिए कह सकती हूँ because I have read certain papers. And I would be happy to also share those resources and papers with you offline, with maybe Anusha ma'am later, which could be circulated to everybody. There are certain factors, genetic predisposition factors, that can also indicate that a person can have multiple sclerosis. However, as Sandeep sir rightly said, it is still under research. अभी इसको पुख्ता तरीके से बोला नहीं गया है कि जेनेटिक कंडीशन है ही है, बट जेनेटिक प्रीडिस्पोजिशन जरूर है एमएस के कुछ केसेस में जिनका पब्लिश्ड पेपर है ऑन रिकॉर्ड ऑन पब्लिक प्लेटफॉर्म्स, बट इट इज नॉट हेरिडिटरी. जेनेटिक होना और हेरिडिटरी होने में बहुत फर्क है. हेरिडिटरी मीन्स इट पासेस टू द चाइल्ड फ्रॉम द मदर. माँ से बच्चे में मल्टीपल स्क्लेरोसिस पास नहीं होता. लेकिन जब हम किसी चीज की जेनेटिक होने की बात करते हैं तो किसी फैमिली में कोई एक कंडीशन रन कर सकती है, राइट? तो वो एक कारण जरूर हो सकता है. फॉर इंस्टेंस, माय मासी, माय maternal aunt had multiple sclerosis, but neither her children nor my own parents or my brother have MS. After Masi, it's just me who has MS, right? So although we can debate always about this issue, and I would not want to get into that because I'm not a medical expert, but there are certain factors, genetic factors also involved in multiple sclerosis, which is under research as of now. And as I said, कि आपका immune system आपकी body को attack करता है, right? So the very major factor, I think my screen stopped getting presented. I got a message. Resume.
Ma'am, can you please share again?
Yeah, I'm doing that. Is it visible
Yes.
now?
Yes,
Perfect.
ma'am, it is.
Yes.
Okay.
So as we were talking about how the immune system attacks your body, and there is an impairment in different parts of our body, correct? That can disable a person. So the most important thing that you all should know is that the immune system is instrumental here. There are other factors as well. In the recent researches, there has been a virus also that has been studied, which is called EBV, Epstein-Barr virus. EBV virus, इसके ऊपर काफी papers publish हुए हैं पिछले कुछ 3-4 सालों में, and it is assumed that even this virus can be something which is causing multiple sclerosis in adults. पर जैसे मैंने कहा, everything here is under research, right? तो इन चीजों के बारे में आपको, नलिनी जी, आपने शायद प्रेजेंट करना शुरू कर दिया है स्क्रीन, that's why I'm not able to. But moving on, I spoke about how it is prevalent in women, right? I will take the questions at a later stage. As of now, let me resume present.
Share it again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So in this particular slide of mine, we are going to discuss about the issues faced by persons with multiple sclerosis. In this slide of mine, there is basically a graphical representation, a pictorial representation of a study which was conducted by the MS International Federation. And in this particular study, what they found was 89% of the respondents. And when I say 89% of the respondents, I'm talking about global survey. Okay, everybody. This is not an India survey. This is a global survey, जिसमें of course India भी था. 89% of those respondents said that fatigue, जिसकी हम बात कर रहे थे ना, unusual tiredness, unusual fatigue, थकान, is the most disabling symptom. ये एक proper study का result है. लेकिन क्या आप fatigue को देख सकते हैं? Can you see it? You can't. Can you understand fatigue? Of course not. And that's why to many it is just another problem. कि थकान तो हमें भी होती है ना? जो लोग रोज काम करते हैं, ऑफिस से आते हैं, थकान उन्हें भी होती है, of course, with again no offense. But then जो हमें MS के पेशेंट्स को जो थकान होती है, that is unusual. क्योंकि हमारा ब्रेन की वजह से वो सब चीज हो रहा है, तो it takes an entire toll on our body, right? जिस वजह से हम लोग एक रेगुलर चीज भी नहीं कर पाते, हमें हमारे बेड से उठने की इच्छा भी नहीं होती, हमें लगता है हम सिर्फ लेटे रहें. Not even sleep. We just feel like lying down, sorry, right? So that fatigue can be very, very disabling. And unfortunately, it's not considered as one of the symptoms while we are getting assessed for a disability certificate. My next slide talks about a survey. Now, this is a very interesting survey. In this slide of mine, I've got a pictorial and a graphical representation of the survey which was conducted by MS Society of India Delhi chapter. And on the right of the slide, you will see a text that explains this survey, right? Now, this particular survey, or not even, I won't say it was a very in-depth baseline study, okay? It was not that. It was just a preliminary survey, a primary survey to simply understand how the social life, or what is the social impact of multiple sclerosis on people with MS. So there was a study that revealed on 450 people with MS, जो 450 लोग दिल्ली में हैं जिन्हें MS है, उनके साथ जब ये सर्वे किया गया, तो उन 450 लोगों में से 30 to 35% said that they wanted to work, but they were jobless. And this is because of MS, because either they were not able to explain multiple sclerosis to their employers, or the invisible symptoms were disabling them to work properly, या उनको शायद कोई समझ नहीं पा रहा था, उनको जॉब नहीं दे पाया था. There are n number of reasons. But of these 450, 30 to 35% people said that. 25% of these respondents, 25% में लोगों ने बोला that they face social stigma. What is social stigma? शर्म, right? Pity, या फिर लोग उनको differently देखते हैं, लोग उनके साथ ढंग से behave नहीं करते हैं, because their condition is such, because of multiple sclerosis. Then 15 to 20% of these people said that they have faced job loss because of MS. या तो उनको उनके एम्प्लॉयर ने सपोर्ट नहीं किया, या तो उनको वैसा सपोर्ट मिला नहीं अपने कोलीग से, या फिर शायद उन्होंने कोई रीजनेबल अकोमोडेशन की बात की, सपोर्ट की बात की, उनको दिया नहीं गया, so they had to lose their job. And 5 to 6% of these 450 people said that they were abandoned by their parents, their own family members. उनको छोड़ दिया गया, right? Now this was the study which was conducted in 2019 on 450 people with MS in Delhi. Okay? There have been other studies as well, because I'm also a research fellow in disability at NCPEDP. I have also conducted a study which I would like to share maybe some other day with all the participants here. जिससे मेरे और भी findings रहे हैं from people with other disabilities जिनकी visible नहीं है, including blood disorders. But this is the very survey that I wanted to talk. Now, let's talk about the very challenges related to advocacy. I think Sandeep sir has already explained this, but I would still want to touch upon it again because it is important to me. All of us, I hope, have understood the very challenges, the invisible symptoms of multiple sclerosis. हमें ये तो समझ में आ गया है. Now you can very well understand that when a person with multiple sclerosis has to go for evaluation, assessment, for disability certificate, it's very difficult for even the assessment panel to get that. And mostly, unfortunately, हमारे doctors, हमारे assessment panel के जो भी specialist होते हैं, उन्हें पता ही नहीं होता है क्या चीज़ है. If I go, they will say, madam, आपको क्या problem है? आप तो सर से पाँव तक you look absolutely fine, right? Why do you need a certificate? I have MS. But for them to really assess me, they first need to know what MS is, isn't it? And also understand what are the symptoms. Sadly, assessment guidelines, they talk about only issuing certificate as a percentage of physical impairment. यानी जो visible दिख रहा है disability, हमको उसके ही basis पर certificate देना है, which is not fair, right? Because most of the people with multiple sclerosis in India, 60%, they do not exhibit any visible disability. 60% से ज्यादा लोग इंडिया में जिनको MS है ना, उनका disability ही visible नहीं है. Multiple sclerosis है, but nobody can make out that they have this. So, should all of us be deprived of that? क्या हम वो certificate या वो एक हमारा जो डेटा में जो हमारा काउंट है, क्या हम वो डिजर्व नहीं करते? क्या हमारे आंकड़े नेशनल डेटा में या जो हमारे सर्वेज होते हैं उसमें आना नहीं चाहिए? You're depriving of our rights, right? We are not counted in policies, isn't it? So the 40% benchmark जो हमने एक particularly RPWD Act में जो हमने रखा है, that is discriminating. Sorry to say that, because most of the people with MS are not getting benefited, right? And also, okay, somebody else has started sharing the screen again. But no worries, fine. So that is the first challenge that we as people with MS have to face, the very issue of benchmark disability. Now, of course, I understand कि अगर हम लोग हर किसी को देने लग गए तो कैसे चलेगा? I'm not asking anyone to issue us a permanent disability certificate at 40%. In fact, that will be the most horrible thing to do, because MS can progress at a later stage of life as well when it becomes even more visible, right? जैसे मैंने कहा, MS के symptoms can vary from person to person and time to time. तो हो सकता है आज जो मैं आपको एकदम absolutely fine दिख रही हूँ, 3-4 साल बाद वही मैं आपको एक walking stick के साथ दिखूँ, या 3-4 साल बाद मैं शायद wheelchair पे रहूँ, right? So giving us a 40% permanent disability card will be unfair also. It will not be a right thing to do. But not even giving us 40% will be even more bad. It will be the worst thing to do to any person with MS, क्योंकि वो एक बहुत बड़ा deprivation होगा हमारे rights का. Then we have the other challenge The other challenge of no reservation for people with MS in the employment quota. The 4% reservation है हमारे RPD Act में of people with different disabilities, even there we are not counted. If you look at it closely, you will find that except multiple sclerosis and blood disorders, all the other disabilities are the part of it. अगर आप ध्यान से उस कोटा को भी देखेंगे, तो if I want to become the part of the government machinery, कल को अगर मैं कुछ pursue करना चाहूँ और मैं अगर उस because I'm a person with MS and I want to get into that, I will not be provided that opportunity. Why? Because I'm not counted only in that, which is extremely discriminatory, right? So the 4% employment quota, उसमें सिर्फ MS और blood disorders का mention नहीं है, बाकी सारी disabilities को वहाँ space मिला है, which is unfortunate, which is not fair. Then we have another challenge, prohibitive cost of treatment, right? बीच में किसी ने पूछा था कि इसका treatment क्या है, क्या कर सकते हैं, correct? Yes, there are therapies, there are Western medicines, there are different ways of medication that people can use or maybe consume to manage the symptoms. As of now, multiple sclerosis is not curable. MS एक लाइलाज issue है, एक लाइलाज बीमारी है, और क्योंकि ये सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम की तो ऐसा तो है नहीं कि आपने सर्जरी कर दी और ठीक हो गया, isn't it? क्योंकि हमारे नर्व्स इन्वॉल्व है उसमें. There is no cure to MS, but early मैनेजमेंट, अगर आपने उनको ट्रीटमेंट अर्ली दिया, अगर हमारा डायग्नोसिस जल्दी हुआ टाइम पर, तो हम अपने सिम्टम्स को बढ़ने से रोक सकते हैं. वी कैन ऑलवेज स्टॉप द सिम्टम्स फ्रॉम एग्रीवेटिंग टू प्रोग्रेस. एंड हाउ कैन वी डू दैट? यूजिंग द डिजीज मॉडिफाइंग थेरेपीज, जिनके हम आम भाषा में गोलियां, अलग अलग थेरेपीज होती हैं, राइट? इंजेक्शंस ले सकते हैं इंट्रामस्कुलर, then there are oral medications as well, there are infusions as well that are provided. But then as I said, every person with MS is different, तो हर किसी की दवा भी अलग होगी, and therefore the cost will also vary. Now that is one of the challenge, that the cost of treatment is so high in certain cases. मैंने ये नहीं कह रही कि सब cases में, but in most of the cases the cost of treatment is so high that the person can't even afford the medication or treatment, and hence उनकी disability और progress होती चली जाती है, right? And then what happens is their quality of life is affected, correct? और जो issues जो बाकी disabled को होते हैं वो उन लोग को face करना पड़ता है, right? That is the very reason why I had written a letter to the Prime Minister back in 2018 demanding affordable treatment on MS in the country. क्योंकि मैं एक weekly injection लेती हूँ that costs me 7,000 per week and I have to take it for the rest of my life, right? And this is something that is not affordable for me. I can't do it. I am still relying financially on my father. So उनकी सेविंग्स से मैं मेरी इलाज करवा रही हूँ. इलाज भी नहीं है बेसिकली, वो मैनेज करने के लिए मैं इंजेक्शंस ले रही हूँ, राइट? But then apart from this, what else can we do? Rehabilitation can help, but before that, let us understand the very myths around MS. Please note, and this is, I will request the audience to listen to this very, very attentively. Multiple sclerosis is not fatal. ये आपकी जान बिल्कुल नहीं लेता. It is not a condition that will kill you. Please note this. Multiple sclerosis is not contagious. It is not infectious. मंजू जी, आप प्लीज अपना माइक म्यूट पे कर देंगे. Please turn your mic off. MS is not contagious. Multiple sclerosis छूने से या आपने किसी person with MS के हाथ से पानी का ग्लास ले लिया तो आपको नहीं होगा. It is not a communicable disease. It is a neurological condition. Multiple sclerosis is not directly inherited. जैसे कि हमने पहले भी बताया कि ये मदर से बच्चे में नहीं जाता है. It is not something that passes on from a mother to the child. Therefore, it's not hereditary and it is not congenital. ये by birth नहीं होता है. It is not present since birth, right? MS is not always disabling. It will not always disable you. Yes, it can lead to cases where people with MS might take assistive aid या फिर कोई दूसरी डिवाइसेस जिसकी वजह से वो चल सके या मूव कर सके, बट इट डज नॉट मीन कि लाइफ टाइम उनको वो चीज की सपोर्ट चाहिए होगी, राइट? अ पर्सन विद एमएस शुड नॉट स्टॉप वर्किंग, राइट? अ पर्सन विद एमएस इज एज फिट टू वर्क एज एनी अदर इंडिविजुअल. जैसे कि हमने बात किया, ये एक ऐसा इशू नहीं है जिसमें हमको एम्प्लॉयमेंट में कोई चैलेंज आना चाहिए. चैलेंज सिर्फ तब आता है जब हमारे आसपास के लोग एमएस को समझ नहीं पाते सही से, right? It's always important to have more conversations and discussions around multiple sclerosis. I will sincerely request even NIPID and all other national institutes जो भी हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं कि प्लीज हमें किसी भी डिसेबिलिटी के बारे में समझना है तो आप सिर्फ 3rd December, 30th May या 1st April का वेट ना करें. आई नो हमारे डेजिग्नेटेड डेज हैं कि हम इस दिन ये सेलिब्रेट करते हैं, बट दैट इज व्हाट डिप्राइव्स अस, राइट? क्योंकि अगर हम लोग ये कॉन्वर्सेशंस रेगुलरली नहीं करेंगे तो ये एक वो स्टिग्मा हमेशा के लिए बना रहेगा. देयर विल बी नो ग्रेटर अवेयरनेस. Conversations around every kind of disability should and must happen regularly and not only on designated days or on 3rd December. This is my sincere request. I would love to be the resource person every time the sessions happen, because I'm doing that only since the past several years. And I'm ready to offer my services as many times as possible to any national institute or organization for that matter to talk about multiple sclerosis. A person with MS can have children. That is also one of the things that everybody should know. क्योंकि ये hereditary नहीं है, तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि a woman with MS cannot conceive. उनके लिए safe नहीं है. They can have children, and it's not necessary कि उनके बच्चों को भी MS होगा, right? That is one thing. Now the last thing that I want people to understand, because you're talking about NIPID, right? हम NIPID के साथ एक presentation कर रहे हैं. How can rehabilitation help in MS? कि मोस्टली आपके कंट्रोल में यही है और आप लोग इसमें अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन दे सकते हैं. रिमेंबर कि हम जब व्हेन वी हैव अ स्ट्रक्चर्ड प्रॉब्लम फोकस्ड इंटरवेंशन, इट कैन हेल्प मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल विद एमएस. व्हाट डू आई मीन बाय दैट, स्ट्रक्चर्ड एंड प्रॉब्लम फोकस्ड? बिकॉज सिम्टम्स ऑफ एमएस आर डिफरेंट, राइट? हर किसी के चैलेंजेस अलग होंगे, हर किसी की जो लेवल ऑफ डिसेबिलिटी है, सिवियरिटी है, दैट विल बी डिफरेंट. हेंस even the interventions will be different. अब अगर मुझे हाथ में spasms हैं तो मैं पैर की एक्सरसाइज थोड़ी करूंगी, correct? So how can rehabilitation help in MS? Number one, we have to help, or maybe a person with MS can himself or herself also do physiotherapy. एक example. And I think physiotherapy is something that everybody here is aware of. I'm very sure, right? Maybe using the very symptomatic way कि जो issue है, जिस body part को affect किया है MS ने, अगर हम वहां पर थेरेपीज का यूज करते हैं, वहां पर अगर हम इंटरवीन करते हैं, तो द पर्सन विद एमएस कैन लीड अ वेरी गुड क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ, राइट? एंड रिमेंबर, इट्स नॉट जस्ट द पर्सन विद एमएस हु लिव्स विद एमएस, राइट? इट्स द एंटायर फैमिली और द इकोसिस्टम दैट लिव्स विद इट. आप भी मेरे साथ अग्री करेंगे, करेक्ट? चाहे वो कोई भी डिसेबिलिटी हो, सिर्फ उस डिसेबल्ड पर्सन के साथ वो नहीं बीत रही होती है ना, उनका पूरा इकोसिस्टम, उनके केयरगिवर्स, उनकी फैमिली, सब लोग उसके साथ जी रहे होते हैं. I don't like to say that I'm suffering from MS. मैं actually suffer नहीं कर रही हूँ. We must not use such terms क्योंकि ये सुनने में बहुत stigmatized लगता है ना, कि suffer कर रहे हैं. No, we are living with it. Now people, so there will be people who are happily living with it. There will be people who are not so happy living with it, right? I think the better way to say that is to live with MS, right? And not to say that we are suffering from MS. We are not suffering. At least I am not suffering, right? Then how else can we help? We can educate ourselves or people around us in self management and behavior change, correct? अगर आप किसी एक पर्सन विद एमएस को डिफरेंटली देखेंगे और उनको ट्रीट करेंगे, इट विल नॉट बी राइट. एंड देन ऑफ कोर्स वी कैन ट्राई एंड स्टे एज फिट एज हेल्थी एज पॉसिबल बाय प्रिवेंटिंग एनी इंजरीज, है ना? कोई ऐसे माहौल में नहीं जाके एक्सट्रीम हॉट एंड एक्सट्रीम कोल्ड टेम्परेचर्स, आई विल रिपीट, एक्सट्रीम हॉट and extreme cold temperatures can trigger multiple sclerosis, can trigger the symptoms of MS. So maybe being watchful of that can help us manage MS better. And we need to empower the individual and the entire family. ये तो I think is extremely important in everybody's case. ये हर किसी के लिए मायने रखता है कि हमें एक व्यक्ति पर नहीं, हमें पूरे इकोसिस्टम के हिसाब से देना, so that no one is left behind. हमारी कंट्री में कोई पीछे ना रह जाए. एवरीबडी शुड बी अकोमोडेटिंग. इंक्लूजन को इंश्योर करने के लिए हमें जरूरी है ये समझना कि हम सबको साथ रहना है, राइट? टू लीव नो वन बिहाइंड. इट्स एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट टू हैव सच कॉन्वर्सेशंस एवरी नाउ एंड देन. एंड लास्टली मेरी आप लोगों से एक दरख्वास्त है. दिस इज द एंड ऑफ माय प्रेजेंटेशन. दिस पर्टिकुलर स्लाइड ऑफ माइन हैज गॉट अ वेरी नाइस बैकग्राउंड, अ स्लाइड with a picture of MS heart. So the ones who can see, I would request everyone to turn their videos on maybe later if there are any questions, and make an MS heart for a group picture, because किसी ने पूछा था कि सर इसका स्लोगन क्या है. There is no slogan guys as such, but yes, हमारा एक थीम है जो हम सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं, and the theme is MS connections. right? To celebrate connections with everyone. We are celebrating the connection with Nipid. We're celebrating the connection with every person who has joined with us today, right? So जो MS heart है, how you can make it? You have to simply fold your fingers to the very bottom of your palm, जो होता है, to make a heart, right? They should touch the very base of your palm as you make a heart towards in front of the, I mean, in the front it appears as a heart, correct? So this heart basically symbolizes togetherness. Sign language में इसका मतलब होता है togetherness, right? So an MS heart is something that we are doing this World MS Day, MS Connections. I'll request somebody to please click a picture if possible of this. If you guys want to put your video on, please do that so that we can take a very nice picture together ताकि हम इसको और share कर सकें and celebrate World MS Day. Is anybody clicking the picture? Just
I request everyone to please switch on their video so that we can have a group photo with the MS heart. Everyone, can you please switch on your video?
It's no compulsion. If you're not comfortable, it's all right.
Everyone, can you please switch on the camera so that we can make this MS heart and we can have a group photo? We will take a screenshot.
This is the MS heart, everybody. If you guys can make that heart, please. It will mean a lot to the MS community today. I know, Bhupendra ji, आप एक हाथ से बनाने का try कर रहे हैं, maybe. So if you want to, yeah, sure. Yes. Yay!
Thank you so much.
So I'll open the floor to any questions if there are any. I know it's 1 o'clock, सबको भूख लग रही होगी, but if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
We will take 2 or 3 questions because of the time constraints.
Sure.
Anyone has any question?
Yes, ma'am, I have one question. Yes, what type of assessment do we have with MS?
Sorry, what?
What type of assessment? What kind of assessment
can we do to issue a certificate?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a good question. And as I said, I'm not a medical expert, but yes, it will always help if you could at least understand from the very person with MS if they are facing any issues, जिनका मैंने अभी mention किया, right? If there is any other issue that you can't see, because there will be people who may not be even able to lift their leg, say above 30 degrees. जैसे मेरे केस में 30 degrees से ऊपर leg अपना lift नहीं कर सकती, but I can walk, isn't it? So अगर ऐसे कोई issues हैं जिनसे उनको problem हो रहा है, it's always good to ask them. And the most important thing is to have a neurologist in the assessment panel. I know कि neurologist की कमी है हमारे देश में. As of now, there are close to 2,000 or 2,500 neurologists to take care of 2 billion, 1.3 billion people, right? But अगर हो सके तो मैं आप लोगों से ये भी दरख्वास्त करूंगी कि what you can do the best, you can maybe organize a dedicated camp to issue a certificate. एक ही दिन करिए and you can maybe circulate that circular कि हम multiple sclerosis या फिर जो neurological condition है Parkinson's, right? इन दोनों को एक neurologist लगता है assessment के लिए. So maybe on 1 day or say 2 days a week आप लोग किसी dedicated day के दिन assessment announce करिए so that उन्हीं 2 दिन के लिए उस neurologist को available होना पड़े, right? That will save your time and energy, correct? And that way even the comment of neurologist will hold a lot of value क्योंकि वो best बता पाएंगे कितना सही है. But हाँ, जैसे मैंने पहले भी कहा, understand what the challenges are of MS from the person also once, right? मैं ये नहीं कह रही हर एक की बात पत्थर की लकीर होगा. It will be true, but it's always important to ask them because वो उनसे बेहतर आपको कोई नहीं समझा पाएगा कि उनको tingling कितना हो रहा है या उनको fatigue कितना हो रहा है, isn't it? या वो कितनी बार वॉशरूम जाते हैं एक दिन में. अब ये बोलने की बात थोड़ी होती है, but अगर आप थोड़े sensitive हैं, थोड़े empathetic हैं, तो you can understand that better. And if nothing else works, at least provide them with 40% certificate, issue them. मैं permanent देने की बात बिल्कुल नहीं कर रही हूँ. It can be temporary, right? But at least to have a data, at least to count us in policies will help, because insurance policies also don't cover us. It was
Yes.
only very recently that it was announced, right?
Yes.
Maybe वो अभी action में नहीं आया है.
Yes,
I
and-
hope that answers your question.
Yeah, sorry. But the thing is, again, we have to do from government hospital, yeah, private.
Absolutely. I know that is sad, right?
What time will take to get a certificate again?
करेक्ट. अब वो सिस्टमेटिक सिस्टम वाला जो इशू है उस पर मैं कमेंट तो कर नहीं सकती. आई नो इट्स अ वेरी बिग चैलेंज एंड आई थिंक ऑल ऑफ अस आर डीलिंग विद इट टुगेदर, राइट? बट जो हम अपनी कैपेसिटी में कर सकते हैं, अगर आप लोग कोशिश करें कि आप एक लेटर इशू करें और आप ही भेजें गवर्नमेंट को, सरकार को, कि हमें चीज करना. लेट्स बिकम अ मॉडल स्टेट. या लेट्स महाराष्ट्र शुड बिकम अ मॉडल स्टेट. आई थिंक इट्स इम्पोर्टेंट. जरूरी है ना हमें मॉडल स्टेट बनना. इतनी बड़ी आबादी है हमारी. एंड एमएस सोसाइटी ऑफ इंडिया के 2 चैप्टर्स सिर्फ महाराष्ट्र में है, बाकी हर स्टेट में एक ही है. एंड एज आई सेड, मैं कंट्रीब्यूट करने को, मैं प्रेजेंट रहने को पूरी तरीके से अवेलेबल और रेडी हूँ. यू कैन पिंग मी एंड बॉदर मी एनी पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. मैं ये नहीं कह रही कि मैं असेस करूंगी, बट मुझसे जितना होगा मैं कंट्रीब्यूट करने को रेडी हूँ.
Thank you so much. Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Very informative. Thank you so much.
Before moving forward, sorry to interrupt, ma'am. I would like to tell the participants that there is going to be another evaluation link which will be posting in the end of the session, and one feedback link. So you have to fill both the evaluation link and the feedback link. Then only you would be getting the CRE certificate. Yes.
Okay.
So should we take one more? We can take one more question. Because of the time constraint, and ma'am's session was so wonderful and informative. I think a lot of it was covered. And I would thank you so much, ma'am. Your session was so interesting. And I think every one of us will agree that it has dwelled so much interest in all of us to read more about multiple sclerosis and do our part for this field. And thank you so much. It was extremely wonderful. And I'm sure everybody should learn more about it and do our part in various fields as well.
Thank you so much. And I will just drop in the last 1 minute, I'll drop my contact details just in case anybody wants to get in touch with me. If that is okay, Anusha. If not, then even you can directly share. It's not a problem. अगर आप में से किसी के भी कोई सवाल हैं या कुछ आपको मुझसे जुड़ना है, तो you can always reach out to me. I can share my contact details here, and we can work together. Yeah, come on, let's work together and fight this issue, and not just MS. Let's just empower every person with disability. Right?
Hello,
Nothing
ma'am.
about
Hello.
us without us.
Hello.
Yes.
Can I have a question?
Sure,
Sorry, I'm
sure.
consuming your time, but can I have?
Absolutely.
Just
please.
one question.
Yeah.
We can have just one more question.
Yeah, so good afternoon. Actually, I'm Saroj. I just wanted to share you something which happened with me. Till the age of 16, my speech was normal. And all of a sudden, after 16, 17, my speech becomes slurred. When I'm pronouncing a few words, like so, so that time my face become literally slight, thoda sa tircha hona. So ये suddenly हुआ है. So is it coming under sclerosis? Because when I'm pronouncing that word, that time also my face become मतलब ऐसा टेढ़ा होना, पूरा जुबान टेढ़ी हो जाती है. So is that the problem coming under the sclerosis?
Well, I will not really. I think it's not right for me to comment and say for sure कि वो MS है. But if it is, persistent, Saroj, right?
Right.
सरोज जी, आप प्लीज अगर आपको लग रहा है कि काफी टाइम से हो रहा है, तो डेफिनेटली आपको एक स्पेशलिस्ट को दिखाने की जरूरत है. एंड अगर आपको, एंड इफ दैट पर्टिकुलर स्पेशलिस्ट और अ डॉक्टर सजेस्ट यू टू गो टू अ न्यूरोलॉजिस्ट, तो आप प्लीज जाइए, बिकॉज एमएस इज अ न्यूरोलॉजिकल कंडीशन. एंड आपके उस क्वेश्चन का परफेक्ट आंसर आपको न्यूरो दे पाएंगे, क्योंकि नो पर्सन विद no doctor in fact on the very first instance can declare you as a person with MS.
Right.
There are a lot of things that
from the age of 16 I'm facing backache issues and numbness in my
I
right
see.
leg. Yeah. So
Okay,
that's the
okay.
reason I'm asking you, is it coming under the this sclerosis?
See, some of the symptoms do, kind of fall in line with what you are saying with MS.
Right.
But as I said, you can maybe straight away go to a neurologist. and maybe tell them that these are our issues, क्योंकि फिर वो आपको कुछ एक टेस्ट देंगे करने के लिए, right? You'll have to undergo several series of tests, and if the tests indicate that there's a demyelination, जिसकी हम बात कर रहे थे, myelin sheath अगर damaged है,
right?
So it can be MS, okay? But as I said, I'm no expert. Please see a neurologist, because I think हम numbness का बात कर रहे हैं. अगर ऐसा कुछ है तो आपको एक neurologist सही से बता पाएंगे, guide कर पाएंगे.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Saroj. Yes.
Ma'am,
Thank
I
you so
also
much.
have a question. Can I ask? Because of the time constraints, I think we would stop, because I think it was still 1. But you can definitely, ma'am is sharing the contact details. And if somebody is having a query, can if it is okay, ma'am, they can
Sure,
contact you.
We have just put
Thank
my
you,
email
ma'am.
address. Yes.
Yes. So, ma'am, thank you again for such a wonderful session, and we are so happy that you could join us today and conduct this session. And you shared so much of experience, which has enlightened all of us in this condition. And we request that in future also we would like to collaborate with you and conduct such wonderful sessions.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So now I request our Ms. Shilpi Sonone, ma'am. She's the occupational therapist at Nipid Regional Center, Navi Mumbai, to please give us a vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I think I'm obliged to take this opportunity to give a vote of thanks to all the participants. I first pay my sincere gratitude and thank you to our director, Shri B.V. Ramkumar sir, and our officer in charge, Dr. Ravi Prakash Singh sir, to giving us this platform, Google Meet link, as well as the YouTube link channel, to connect with as many people as we can and spread an awareness about World Multiple Sclerosis Day. Our first resource person were Mr. Sandeep Chipnis sir, Secretary to National Secretary to Multiple Sclerosis India, who has given us a very in brief knowledge about the RPWD Act associated with multiple sclerosis, as well as he has self-adequately indicated how we can approach in a firm to get how we can approach to the society members and how we can spread more awareness in the common people, the benefits and the importance of getting this awareness on a large scale. Our second resource person, Ms. Anjali Vyas, self-educate on the Disability Rights India. She is, as usual, a very good orator and a speaker. And I have been listening her in the Purple Fest also. It is wonderful to hear from her again. And her practical experience has actually given us a very good experience. I further extend my thanks to Mr. Ashish, who has been laboriously giving us the sign language interpretation. Thank you very much. And last but not the least, all my participants who have been connected here through Google link as well as the YouTube channel. I'm thankful to all of you for getting connected with Nipid RC Navi Mumbai and making